Greetings everybody and welcome to Madrid Ball. I hope you all are doing good. Real Madrid have kicked off the Champions League campaign with a victory away at the San Siro, but it was a kind of performance which left us wanting more from Real Madrid. It wasn't the most comfortable victory. Some may even say that Real Madrid didn't deserve to get the win because Inter played like the better team. Had it not been for the brilliance of Courtois, the scoreline could have been very different. Especially in the first half, Inter almost made Madrid pay for the mistakes, but this is where Real Madrid can become a very difficult team to beat. If you don't take your chances, if you don't make best use of the opportunities that come your way, Real Madrid will bite you back, and this time it was the young guns of Madrid who stole the spotlight and silenced the San Siro. So in this video, we will do the post-match analysis of Inter Milan vs Real Madrid. We'll talk about the performance of the team. So without further ado, let's get started. And starting by having a look at the lineup, we went with the 4-3-3 formation. There was Courtois in goal. The back four of Nacho, Alaba, Miguel and Carvajal. In the midfield, there were no surprises. Modric, Valverde and Casemiro took the position. And in attack, Ancelotti decided to go with Vasquez, Vinicius and Benzema. And talking about the lineup, there were a few eyebrows raised seeing the inclusion of Vasquez and Nacho. Nacho, as we saw, was selected ahead of Miguel. That is something that I didn't see coming, but I can understand why Ancelotti would make the decision, because Nacho has the ability to play in multiple positions in the back line. He can play centre back, he can play left back or right back, but there are certain limitations to his game. Maybe with Miguel, we would have got more attacking output. In the past few games, we have seen him develop a good chemistry with Vinicius, and as we have seen, he does have the ability to put in some good crosses inside the box, on which Benzema usually capitalizes. But with Nacho, you know, you'll get more defensive cover. He tried to go forward a couple of times, but the effectiveness and the flair from the left was missing in this game. But coming to the judgment of the decision, you could clearly see Ancelotti was more concerned about keeping the defense tight. He preferred experience over youthful Miguel, and the same can also be said for Lucas Vasquez. One of the ideas behind his selection was that he's someone who does a lot of hard work defensively. He was coming back to help out Carvajal from time to time, but going forward, he had very little to offer. Only when Rodrygo came on, the attack was looking much more balanced. The driving runs of Rodrygo were causing a lot of trouble, and this was something that we were desperately missing in the first half. And talking about the first half, Inter Milan were clearly the better team. They had started the game with a good bit of intensity. They were winning the one-on-one duels, and I was really impressed with the way that Inter Milan players were pressing in the game. You can see here in the 12th minute, Inzaghi used the tactics of pressing high up the pitch. Madrid were trying to get the ball out of the back, but there you can see many Inter players were waiting to push the defenders into a tight corner. Even the midfielders of Inter, Barella, Brozovic, Canoglu, Damian, all were working in sync. They gave as little time as possible on the ball to the Real Madrid midfielders. Especially Brozovic and Barella were dictating the tempo of the team. They were finding the spaces, they were bringing in creativity, they were finding Lautaro and Edin Dzeko running in between the lines, and Brozovic came very close to scoring as well. So definitely Inzaghi's plan of outnumbering the midfield was working in favour of Inter, and you could also see Inzaghi had a plan in place to stop Vinicius Jr. Inter were well aware of the danger Vinicius Jr. posed, and as a result, you could see that someone or the other always kept a keen eye on Vinicius, almost man-marking him at times. Vinicius was marked by Damian. At times, both Skriniar and Damian would double down on Vinicius to eliminate the threat. So definitely, that plan was working very well for Inter as well. And moving on, I want to take some time and talk about Milan Skriniar. What a great defender this man is. He had a brilliant performance yesterday, and you could see why this man is so highly rated. He's definitely one of the best centre-backs in the world right now. He's quick, he's strong, he can carry the ball out of the back line. He's a physical player, he can put in some brilliant lunging tackles. Have a look at the instance in the 50th minute. He's one-on-one with Benzema inside the penalty box. Benzema was able to trick him and goes past Skriniar, but have a look at how quickly Skriniar recovers from that. He was up in a flash, he put in a sliding challenge, and he didn't allow Benzema to put in the cross. Even in the 86th minute, Vinicius Jr. had a crack at goal, but guess who was there? Milan Skriniar put in a sliding challenge to block the shot of Vinicius Jr., and that is what I would say is gutsy and intelligent defending. I was very impressed with the defender, and he really looks like an asset for Inter Milan in the back line. And talking more about Inter Milan, one thing that was noticeable was that Milan were passing in triangles to evade the press of Real Madrid. Obviously, they had the numerical advantage in the middle, so it was much more easier for them to find the extra passing lanes. So many times we found that Inter Inter were able to get past the midfield and drive at the defenders. Edin Dzeko was dropping deep to help up with the build-up play, and all these things combined, Inter posed a tough challenge for the defense of Real Madrid. There were many times when the crosses would come in and find the Inter man in the penalty box, and we can be nothing but grateful to Thibaut Courtois here. The Belgian wall, he had a magnificent outing yesterday. So many times he came close to rescue Madrid. Had it not been for him, we could have easily conceded 3 goals. He positioned himself in the right place to deal with the shots. He showed some excellent reflexes. He used to palm out the ball at times, and when the opposition manager is full of praise for a player, you know the player was sublime on the day. Inzaghi, while praising Courtois in the post-match press conference, said, "We're up against a goalkeeper who was very difficult to score past tonight. Courtois turned in a top performance." And that's right, Courtois was on top of his game yesterday. In the past few matches, he didn't really look at his best, but Courtois is back, and for me, Courtois was the man of the match as well. Anyways, coming to the second half, Madrid showed improvement in this half, especially the substitutions of Rodrygo and Camavinga worked very well for Real Madrid. That was a good move from Ancelotti. He explained the decision to not bring in Hazard, as he said, when you can introduce fresher players into a game that was so intense with that first half, it's obvious that the fresher substitutes can help a lot. I thought of putting Hazard in during the second half, but Inter defended strongly in the middle, so I decided to put players out wide with Rodrygo or Vinicius to try to attack from out wide. And that was the correct call from Ancelotti. The 3 centre-backs of Inter, De Vrij, Skriniar and Bastoni, didn't allow much space to the attackers. Even Benzema was looking ineffective in front of goal, so Ancelotti focused on hitting Inter from the wide areas. With Rodrygo coming on, you know he's a player who is young and has a sense of maturity about his play. He makes good decisions, makes intelligent runs, and that paid off for Madrid in the end. Breaking down the first goal, firstly, it was all about the vision and awareness of Valverde and Camavinga. 2 youngsters did a bit of link-up play. Camavinga passes the ball to Valverde and makes a run into the final third. Valverde spots the space that Camavinga was running into. He puts in a lofted ball in between the centre-backs, and have a look at Camavinga here. Again, the quality of this man. He could have gone for goal at this point, but no, he chose the better and a slightly more complicated option. He takes a deft touch to put the lob ball in between the 2 centre-backs of Inter. There was very little space there. The pass from Camavinga had to be perfectly executed, and Rodrygo there takes the chance with quite a bit of ease. He gets past Bastoni and slots the ball past the keeper into the back of the net. It was a brilliant bit of play from the youngsters. I had surrendered to the idea that the match would end up in a draw, but these young talented players gave us the joy of winning away from home. And talking about Valverde, he's just an amazing player, Fede Valverde. He's like a ball of energy, always gives his 100% for every minute that he's there on the pitch. It doesn't seem to tire at all, and Eduardo Camavinga already, he has made 2 important goal contributions coming off the bench, and that is a fantastic start for the youngster. You could see why we were saying that Camavinga will have a major role to play in this Real Madrid side, even though he's still very young. And that late goal again goes on to show you do not let your guards drop, especially in the final 10 minutes against Real Madrid. Madrid just have this DNA of getting late goals. We keep trying till the last minute of the game, especially towards the end. The adrenaline starts kicking in. The players begin to play with much more intensity. They begin to pin back the opposition, and with the talent that Real Madrid have in the front line, often we are successful in breaking down the opposition. So overall, it was a nice victory away from home. It wasn't convincing, and we were made to work hard, but Real Madrid had the energy to keep going until the final whistle. We got the 3 points in the bag. Inter are probably the team that is going to fight with us for the top spot in the group, but now that we have the advantage over them, and if we keep things professional from here on, it's difficult to see Madrid not top this group. You have to remember that since we played Inter on the first match day, the return fixture will be played on the last. In between, we'll take on Shakhtar and Sheriff, and by the time the reverse fixture happens, we may have sealed our qualification for the knockout stages. So definitely our path to the next round looks more comfortable compared to the rest, and let's hope Real Madrid will keep getting the good results in the subsequent matches as well. So that is all I have here. Do let me know what are your thoughts on the game and which player impressed you the most. Let me know in the comments below. I'll see you soon. Till then, take care. Glory to Madrid. And as always, a la Madrid.